All right, John, thank you. Here in Chapel Hill, let's take a look at the sights and sounds of college football. ABC Sports will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations. It's been all Florida State.
This is a fresh from the oven DiGiorno pizza. What?
You haven't tried one yet? Well, now you shall.
The next time you're ordering out, bake up a DiGiorno instead.
If you don't agree that fresh baked DiGiorno tastes like delivery, pizza, we'll give you $2 back towards your next pizza. Will you agree? Yes, I think so. This is yours.
Be daring.
Eat! Call 1-866 if you dare for details.
It's not delivery. It's DiGiorno.
Introducing the all-new Nissan Quest, a revolutionary minivan featuring 5 Skyview windows, an innovative center console, automated side and rear lift doors, and fold-away second and third row seats. Moms have changed. Shouldn't the minivan?
Sunday, September 28th.
You ready for this?
The best dramas are on ABC.
You think you're tough? You don't have a prayer of making it do this thing.
An explosive new series.
My first day on the job, I don't want to shoot anybody.
10/8, Officers on Duty.
Who ordered this?
Then there's never been a better time
When did you start playing it safe?
to get into television's most compelling drama.
You were missing for almost 2 years. We thought you were dead.
It's a new beginning
You're home again.
on Alias. And just when you thought nothing could surprise you,
Are you attracted to me?
Please.
James Spader joins the most risk-taking show on television.
I took from the rich.
And who'd you give to?
I kept it.
The Practice. The most anticipated premieres of the season.
My mission now is to get you.
Sunday, September 28th, starting at 8/7 Central.
What it comes down to is faith.
ABC puts on Sunday's best.
Who makes salads fresh all day, every day with luscious mandarin oranges, juicy chicken, ripe grape tomatoes, grated cheese, sliced almonds, and roasted pecans on beds of fresh greens? Wendy's, of course. It's better here.
Before we opened our new Honda dealership, we'd spent many weeks installing an online customer information center, rethinking the showroom experience. We even built a special express lane to make oil changes quick and easy. And this cat showed up, started snooping around. Shelly, our receptionist, started calling him Tiger. It's funny because we designed the entire dealership with a customer in mind, but I guess it must also be attracted to cats because I don't think Tiger's leaving anytime soon.
Check this out. KFC does the impossible. Gets families together again.
They're all in there together. They're talking together. They're laughing together. How did she do that?
Get a 10-piece meal of the Colonel's finger-licking good chicken, plus 2 home-style sides and 4 biscuits, just $13.99. And try our new honey barbecue boneless wings, 7 for only $2.99. Get the family together, as only KFC can.
You get the kids, I'll get the KFC. We're gonna eat together.
Together.
Wake up to ABC News Channel 27 from 5:30 to 7. It's your first news, weather, and traffic on ABC News Channel 27, where news is first.
Mom, where do salads come from?
Wendy's?
No, really.
Our Garden Sensation salads are so full of greens and fresh vegetables, you won't believe they're from Wendy's.
Well, when a chicken and a mandarin orange love each other very much, they make a salad.
No, they don't.
You're watching ABC News Channel 27.
The Florida State Seminoles have had Heisman Trophy quarterbacks from Wenke to Ward. Tonight, Chris Ricks has made his case, 12 of 16 passing. He's run for 2 touchdowns. At North Carolina, head coach John Bunning is counting on his quarterback to continue to battle. Darian Durant, 13 of 23, and he's been hit a lot. Florida State has dominated as the Noles and Tar Heels get ready for the second half on ABC Sports. Florida State leads 27-0. It's been all Seminoles. The Tar Heels unable to get anything offensively. The defense for Florida State is back. When Bobby Bowden said this was as fast as maybe the most talented defense he's ever had, he wasn't exaggerating.
And we thought he was. I mean, when we talked to him, we're like, oh, this is just the old guy kind of spinning a yarn for us. But you watch his defense. It'll play out a little more as the season goes on. They have the second toughest schedule in the country. And this UNC defense, they're just overmatched, Tim. They're so young. They're not physical enough. And you heard John Bunting. These guys are good. Florida State's going to be an awfully tough team this year.
Very good, and it is very hot tonight. He's tried to play a lot of people. Both coaches have, actually. Played a lot of people, a lot of freshmen. It's been more effective, obviously, for the Noles than it has been for the Heels. But we're ready to start the second half, and North Carolina will have the ball first. They need to get something positive as Bethia is ready to kick off. And Waddell and Wright haven't had a chance to return one tonight. This is Waddell. He won't return this one either, as he muffs it, fumbles it back into the end zone, and they bring it back to the 20-yard line after the touchback. So North Carolina will go on offense first, and Darian Durant will be the guy. He was pretty effective in the first half when he had an opportunity.
Well, they moved the ball. I mean, they don't have a lot of yardage to show for it. Only 172 total yards if we look at the Pacific Life game summary, which is the first half stats. 172 yards. 302 yards of total offense for Florida State, and they did it every which way. Almost perfect balance, 144 rush, 158 pass. And Jeff Bowden said he wanted to spread the field and get more players involved. There's about 8 different receivers that caught balls for Florida State, including running backs and tight ends and everybody.
Well, the running back who was most effective in the first half was Ronnie Mcgill. And he's the ball carrier, picks up a couple of tough yards. It is extremely tough to go against this Florida State defense. You heard Terry Bowden talking at halftime and pretty much echoing what his dad said, Bobby Bowden, about this defense being so fast, so talented. The attitude is they've heard so much about the 9 losses over the last two years. They don't want to hear it anymore. Mickey Andrews, the defensive coordinator.
Yep, and that's Kevin Steele standing right there to the right. And you better believe former head coach at Baylor, NFL linebacker coach, has some input in what they're calling.
Center screen, not much there, nothing doing. Carolina loses a yard. Let's go downstairs to Sam Ryan.
Well, Tim, I just spoke with Bobby Bowden moments ago. He told me last year against Iowa State, they had a 31-point lead at the half. Iowa State came back, put 31 points on the board. They just barely beat them. He said, let's not let that happen again, guys. He also gave me an update on Leon Washington. He said he is done for the game. He has a dislocated right shoulder. Doesn't know how long he'll be out. Could be 2 weeks, could be the season. He'll be reevaluated when they get back. Guys?
That's it. You know, once a head coach, always a head coach, telling them, you know, we've had teams come back on us.
Oh, yeah.
27-0 Seminoles. Here's Durant. First down, or third down, rather. And he's in trouble again. Can't get away. Gains a yard. Michael Boulware was there. He made the initial tackle. Augustin chased him out. Kendall Pope was chasing him as well.
Well, I'm going to side with Coach Bowden on this one, though, Tim. The quarterback at Iowa State last year when they almost made that comeback was Seneca Wallace. Now, Darian Durant may not be able to run as well as Seneca Wallace, but I think that Darian might have a better arm, so he might have a legitimate argument for his guys. Don't go to sleep. Remember last year against Iowa State in the first ball game.
John Lafferty back to punt, high snap, gets it off. It's an end-over-end short kick. And this one will roll inside the 35. Dominic Robinson never had a chance. They'll mark it at the 32-yard line, so it's a 44-yard punt. Lafferty, there aren't any picture in the stat sheet. It wasn't pretty, but it got a great effect. 12:49 to play in the third. The band plays on.
Starting with me, everything in this place is mean and miserable.
Is that a tear in your eye, Private? Do you want your mommy? Are you going to cry?
I'll kick the tradition and chivalry out of you.
I suggest you shut your mouth.
I can't hear you.
Nothing is over until we decide it is.
Just one more thing. Don't ever make me mad.
Sweet dreams, ladies. Straight left, right left. Ha!
Ooh, you're a naughty little boy, aren't you? Keep it up, and I'm gonna give you a spanking. I'll teach you the meaning of respect.
You're not getting any of my Bud Light. Do you hear me? No kisses for you. Not till you learn to obey me. Now, get down on all fours.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down. Make it a Bud Light.
Cheerios and strawberries have finally gotten together. Berry Burst Cheerios, real strawberries, together with those classic O's, for a taste you can really fall in love with. Hey, I think I love you. Berry Burst Cheerios, in both strawberry and triple berry.
We started this thing, and now that we're on top, everybody's trying to knock us off. It's us versus them. We must protect this house. Will you protect this house? I will. We must protect this house.
When LA's newest cops hit the streets,
Now come down here.
the streets won't know what hit them.
She told him to take the stairs.
10/8, ABC Sunday, September 28th.
With Leon Washington out with that bad elbow, Greg Jones comes into the ball game. Lorenzo Booker, those two guys will have to shoulder the load. That was close to a lateral, and it'll bring up second down for Florida State. But Leon Washington now out of the game, obviously, with that bad elbow that Sam talked about. So Jones and Booker on a hot night will get plenty of action.
And at that time, they even bring Willie Reed back into the backfield, former running back who had that great catch on that fade route earlier. And they can use him when they go split back. They're basically receivers anyway, so they can move him in if they've got to get Booker or Jones off the field on this hot night.
It's a good point. He was a tailback last year. Out of the eye now on second down and 10, Florida State. Ricks looks over the defense and changes the play.
And unfortunately, there's not enough crowd left to make any crowd noise.
4 on the play clock. Gets it off. Here's Jones. Jones to midfield. There's your cut. And into North Carolina territory. Greg Jones with a 20-yard gain, and he's been spectacular tonight.
Boy, this game is going to go a long way for the mental health of Greg Jones. You know, we were talking to Bobby yesterday, and there was a part of him that said, you know, after Thursday's practice, Greg just looked so hesitant on that reconstructed right knee. And it's not that it's not healthy. It's 100% healthy. He worked his butt off in the offseason and worked double sessions during the summer, getting himself back, but it was the mental part, and I think this game's going to go a long way for him having a great senior year.
He has 7 carries, 63 yards. First down for Ricks again. Seems he's been that way all night. Here's the pass to PK Sam. Ball's loose. Carolina's got it. Doug Justice forced the fumble, and Carolina with a turnover, and that'll help the psyche of the Tar Heels.
This is something that John Bunting and his staff instituted last year. They work every single day, and I even watched them in warm-ups. Going in, once a guy's wrapped up and you know he's not going to gain any more yardage, if you've got to hold the ball, yank. That's a great job by Doug Justice pulling that ball out. PK Sam, a junior, when you're down around the pile, you have to lock that thing away, but give a lot of credit to Doug Justice doing what he's been coached to do.
True freshman Ronnie Mcgill comes in at tailback. First down for the Tar Heels. Dunn in motion. Durant throws, has it complete. Polak breaks the tackle. He's into Florida State territory. He has 6 catches. And there's life in the Tar Heels.
And Polak, the most experienced receiver, coming back for North Carolina. He lets the 2 tight ends clear out. He just sets right underneath. The linebacker came over the top and missed a tackle, and Kendall Pope had to clean it up inside out.
Here's McGill. Breaks a tackle, pushes it across the 40. Another first down. Ronnie Mcgill. 124 yards and was the star of the spring game. This is the first game he's played in college. He's 19 years old. This time last year he was playing in high school, but he did come in early to North Carolina. He graduated in December. He came to North Carolina in the spring, and he went through spring ball.
Such a big deal for a freshman if you want to play as a true freshman. If you're able to graduate early, it gets you a semester of school under your belt. You know the system. You go through summer conditioning. You are not a true freshman if you go through spring ball. You're like a half a redshirt freshman.
Second down and short. McGill tripped up. Doesn't have enough for the first. May have lost a yard. Darnell Dockett, the disruptor, was there. He plugged the hole and forced the play backwards.
You know, Tim, we talked a lot about freshmen coming in early. And it's been going on for years, but now it's kind of in vogue. You know, and these young guys realize that shortened careers and everything like that, I might as well get my career started as soon as possible. I think it's a little much what John David Booty did at USC, skipping his senior in high school, but
McGill's close to the first down, but they're pushing back. And again, Darnell Dockett's in the middle of it. He got a lot of help from Alan Augustin. Let's go downstairs. Here's Sam.
Well, guys, you're talking about Ronnie Mcgill and Malik Brown, the true freshmen ahead of the game in a way. Both players enrolled in Carolina in January, able to get the spring practice under their belt, as Ed mentioned. Now, John Bunting says not every player can mentally or physically handle that kind of pressure. He thinks it's an advantage for them. They're able to get adjusted to school without playing the big games, and by participating in spring, they learn the system much earlier and quicker than the other freshmen, guys.
Fourth down and a short one. Huge play for the Tar Heels. Look out for the quarterback sneak. Where's Darian Durant? He calls timeout. And the reason because Dunn wasn't set.
Timeout, Carolina.
Well, Dunn had to get back on the line of scrimmage because the receiver, Danny Rumley, came across the formation to make it a legal formation, and Dunn couldn't make up his mind what he was supposed to do. Durant saw the play clock going down and had to burn a timeout.
Durant wasn't happy, I'll tell you that.
No.
And when they were signaling to him on the sideline during his timeout, he said, no, I'm not coming over. I'm staying with my guys right here. So he did. He stayed on the field. Durant's toweling off right there with his offense.
Well, it looked like they had it right. Take another look at it. It looked like Dunn was up on the line of scrimmage. Rumley was the outside receiver, so when he goes across the formation, then Dunn has to come up on it so that that tackle on the end of the line of scrimmage. Here's a tight end. Here's a receiver moving. He's supposed to stay on the line of scrimmage. If that tackle's uncovered, it's an illegal formation. Oh, no, mental mistakes.
But a smart play by Darian Durant to recognize it.
Well, and it was a mistake by Dunn. He was not supposed to back up and back on. He should have just stayed down in his three-point stance.
So here we go. It's 4th and inches. And I mean, this play is huge for the psyche of North Carolina. And Durant's got the first. Well, you knew the quarterback sneak was coming. He waits for his offensive line to fire out, looks for the gap, takes the one that's open, and he picks up the first down. So they'll move the chains.
Well, Durant's built like a pretty good-sized tailback at 5'11", 220 pounds. Very thick through his legs.
Tar Heels have a first down.
His helmet got a little knocked askew on that. Good push on the right side. That's the big center in there. Jason Brown squats over 700 pounds.
Trust me, Darian's not the first one to be looking through his ear hole against Florida State.
No, he's not.
McGill with a good cut. All that for nothing. Gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Now McGill almost met Darnell Dockett right when he was getting the handoff. Dockett finally healthy. He had ankle problems and Achilles problems last year. And he's back. Got in trouble off the field, was suspended for the Sugar Bowl. Spoke to the team before the game. Was very surprised Bobby asked him to do that. He's been in the middle of that line. He's been so much more explosive tonight than he was all of last year.
On 2nd and long, throws to the flats, picks up a tough 4 yards, and Samuels rides Pollock out of bounds. Great night for Pollock. Career high 7 catches for Jaworski. And he looks at that scoreboard and he says, my 7 catches have netted no points.
Yeah.
Goose egg. How about John Bunting at halftime telling Sam, hey, these guys are good?
Well, I mean, you just got to be realistic. You know, I mean, I think, you know, he's so positive, but I think he realizes, and North Carolina not very good. Well, when it's third and long all night, you're going to be horrible. I think John Bunnings realized they're a year or two away from being able to compete against a team like Florida State physically.
They need 8 yards for the first. There's the strike. Polak's got it. His 8th catch. He's got the first down. Down to the 27-yard line. They'll mark it at the 26. He was working on Michael Boulware. Boy, Boulware's terrific.
He's awfully fast.
He gave him a little too much room on that one, but I'll tell you, he is special.
Well, Allen Augustin, the middle linebacker.
Yeah, they were in zone coverage.
Yeah, well, and he dropped. I don't know why he's dropping that deep. I don't know what would pull him that deep out of the coverage, and that's what opened up the middle hole. Augustin's pointing back, but Boulware and Pope, they've got to watch the inside curl route in that zone coverage. They can't get back to the middle of the field.
Here's Durant on play action. He's looking deep, throws to the end zone for Polak, and that ball's intercepted by Samuels. They tackle him in the end zone. He took a knee, and they'll bring it out to the 20, a touchback. I thought there was contact before the ball got there on Polak, but the ball was deflected.
Well,
and McFadden was riding him pretty hard.
You know, Gary Tranquil, the offensive coordinator in North Carolina, said that Darian Durant is so accurate sometimes. He tries to fit the ball in spaces that he shouldn't. He shouldn't have tried to fit that ball in. That was a very risky throw. Inside coverage, McFadden leads him to the inside and lets him go right to the safety, who's trailing. And that ball actually got in there.
I'm telling you, McFadden hit him early before the ball made
I don't
contact.
know, partner. I don't know.
8:01 to play.
Hey, my customers are on the way. Where's the key? Hello? Hello, where's the key? Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Where's the key?
If your walkie-talkie service is unavailable, bad things can happen. Now there's a push-to-talk from Verizon Wireless, brought to you on America's best, most reliable wireless network.
Can you hear me now?
So across the street and across the country, we mean business. Verizon Wireless, we never stop working for you.
In 1868, an American tradition was beginning, and Pacific Life was founded, both built on principles of persistence, performance, and strength. 135 years later, those beliefs still guide Pacific Life. It's how we help so many businesses and individuals reach their financial goals. For insurance, annuities, and investments, rely on the strength of Pacific Life. Proud sponsor of the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl.
The all-new Nissan Quest is here. Get ready for Girls' Night Out.
ABC Sports presentation of college football is brought to you by Nissan and your Nissan dealer. Sprint, proudly offering picture mail and PCS Vision picture phones. And Miller High Life. To live simply, proudly, boldly, manly. That's High Life. And back to the action. Greg Jones again, and this time he has nowhere to run. Doug Justice chases him down and gets the loss.
And that's a risky play by your middle linebacker. Anytime the linebacker runs through a backside gap underneath on a toss sweep, he better get there. If he's not scraping over the top, if Justice doesn't scrape over the top.
Look at that. That's a linebacker. Look at that nose.
Well, that was
he left the game, had to get patched up.
I don't remember playing with a good middle linebacker who didn't have the bridge of their nose, a permanent scar from their helmet coming down and jacking up their nose every single game.
Good point. Loss of 4. Second down and 14. Ricks with a little swing pattern. Still, they can't stop it. Look out. Plenty of speed. And Booker is all the way out to the 37-yard line before he's knocked out of bounds. Let's take you back to Manhattan and John Saunders. John?
Time now for the Berry Burst Cheerios update. Jason White, can they keep him healthy for Oklahoma this year? 36 yards to Brandon Jones, a 17-0 lead, part of a 37-3 victory. Yes, the Sooners were very, very good. They win it easily over North Texas. Back to you.
John. Oh, my. Hey, you know, you can't help but pull for Jason. I mean, with the injuries he's had and the hard work he's put on to get back.
Yep. And they've got a very, very good defense.
Oh, stop it. Stop it.
Sorry.
Booker straight ahead. Picks up 7. 6:56 to play, third period.
You know, those were the throwback uniforms, Oklahoma. They need to throw them back to the future. Those are ugly.
How about these uniforms that Florida State's wearing tonight? The old white. Remember the game against Florida? When they ran that punt Ruski in those white uniforms? Remember it like it was yesterday.
Well, the reason they hadn't worn them was they won the first 3 games they wore them, and 2 times in '88, once in the bowl game in '89. They won the first 3, and then they lost the next 3. So Bobby mothballed them, and it was the seniors who came to him after spring practice and said, Coach, can we break out the all-whites again?
Second down and 4, and Booker is hit after a gain of 1. Terrific play by Chase Page, and Seawright helped him, and Justice is there again. Chase Page, 12 career starts, moved from offensive guard to defensive guard, came in light, put on weight.
His first game that he played
What's your job?
I don't want his right now. I can guarantee you that. First game he played in was 2 years ago as a true freshman, a 250-pound offensive guard against the Florida State Seminoles. His first play gave up a sack. Second play jumped off sides. He was back on the sidelines, but he was on the field at the end when the goalpost got torn down.
Third down and 3. Booker makes a cut and gets the first. Booker with a terrific cut as he came through the play, came through the line, and struggled ahead for the first down.
Well, you got that right. How quick does he plant and get back vertical? He's one of those guys, you know, a lot of young guys who have a lot of side-to-side ability do too much. They don't remember that the whole key is to gain the yardage up the field, not side to side. But Booker, boy, he sees that hole, he plants that one leg, and he is gone. It doesn't take him 2 steps. He doesn't have to gather himself to make his cuts.
Ricks, a little bit of an option. You know, that's a broken play. I mean, he didn't run it well. It wasn't a broken play, but he didn't run it well. And he still picks up 3.5 yards.
Yeah, Jamel Holloway, he is not.
Again, it was Doug Justice making the tackle.
Do you think a pretty boy quarterback from Southern California really wants to be running the down-the-line option?
I'll tell you, he's tough. I wouldn't say that about him.
Oh, no, he is tough.
I think he is a tough, hard-nosed quarterback. Maybe too much so.
Sometimes.
Bobby Bowden had to pull the reins on him.
Come on, I was just having some fun. Get on, back off me.
It's hot.
It is. You're ordering. It's hot.
Oh, how sweet is that?
Nice toss.
To Alfonso Thorpe, and look out, Thorpe down to the 20 before he's finally ridden out of bounds inside the 20 by Dexter Reed.
Late flag, Timmy.
Out of bounds.
Yeah.
But a gain of 31, and Alfonso Thorpe showing that speed. That.
Yeah. Well, and this is the type of throw, you know, when we asked, oh boy, you can't add insult. It's just dumping salt in the gaping wound right now. But, you know, talking to Bobby Bowden about Ricks, and I asked him point blank, I said, is the team accepted him back?
After the play was over, the dead ball, personal foul against the defense. We're going to mark half the distance to the goal. First down. Because
Ricks messed up bad last year. I mean, you know, all the on-the-field stuff you can deal with. Kids are going to make mistakes, but then to sleep through a final. But it's throws like this. I mean, he couldn't walk out there and hand that ball to Alfonso Thorpe any better. That Bobby said, you know, Ed, he is so clearly our best quarterback that the team has to accept him. He gives us the best chance.
Well, how about Thorpe after the catch? An incredible 22 yards per catch last year, and makes that a 31-yard gain. First down. And goal for the Noles. Here's Booker. I'd like to have a number for the Yaks tonight by Florida State. Yaks, I mean yards after contact. Every one of their ball
I thought
carriers.
you were saying it's so hot they've thrown up a couple times on the sideline.
Every one of their ball carriers picking up a lot of yardage after first contact. There's 2 yards right there after he's hit.
Well, you can go ask Dexter Reed, who's probably got a bruise across his chest, thanks to Mr. Jones, from that brutal forearm he threw into his chest. That was a few yaks. He gave him a yak.
Eating up a lot of clock in this drive, over 4 minutes. Second and goal. Ricks again, a little sloppy, taking it back from center. just throw it away now. Goes to the corner. Touchdown. Throw it away. How about it? Chris Davis goes and gets it.
Good coaches. And therein lies the difference of opinion between Bobby Bowden and his son Jeff. Bobby told us, I don't want him doing things like that. Throw it away. Come back maybe with a play. And Jeff said, I think I finally accepted that this guy is going to do some bonehead plays, and he's going to make some great plays. That there could have been a bonehead play, but turned into a sensational one.
Give Davis some credit. The Parade All-American came back for that ball like a basketball player for a pass. Xavier Bethia makes the extra point. And it's 34-0 Florida State.
So proud of you. You've gotten his name right all game long.
Say that'll be a tight fit situation to get that pass in against Miami. I mean, he just snuggled that in there. Good coverage.
Your British sailor circa 1740 knew that citrus fruit could prevent scurvy. Now that's got to be the only conceivable reason a man would put a lime in his beer. Then again, how bad can scurvy be? A certain amount of risk goes hand in hand with living. The high life.
I never know what kind of never-ending pasta bowls they get.
I always get the penny with the Alfredo sauce. Or, the linguine. With the meat sauce? Spaghetti. Marinara. Capellini. Yeah, with pesto. Fettuccine. Alfredo. More penne. With the... That's right.
You guys play tennis today?
Olive Garden's never-ending pasta bowl, just $7.95. Pick one combination of sauce and pasta, then another. Have all you want, plus all the salad and breadsticks. Go ahead, choose creatively, eat generously.
Good serve. Wonderful.
Oh, look, it's the guy who falls. Fall now.
Oh, I don't really do that anymore. It's not like I got that insurance.
What insurance?
Aflac.
They pay you cash if you can't work when you get hurt. Not that I ever do. Aisle 5 under lingerie.
Price check.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Aflac.
Pure, hard-hitting, no-holds-barred cop drama with new faces and a new name. L.A. Dragnet, ABC Saturday, September 27th.
What was impressive about that drive was the patience and how methodical it was. 9 plays, 80 yards, ate up a lot of the clock, 4 minutes and 23 seconds. And then the touchdown pass to Chris Davis, who made a terrific catch coming back for the ball. 3:38 to play in the third period. Florida State leading Carolina 34-0. Xavier Bethia is getting leg weary here with his kickoffs tonight. Michael Waddell and Wallace Wright are deep, and they have not been able to return one tonight. Everything has been a touchback.
That's a great kick.
Waddell again, 8 yards deep. Touchback. That's 6 touchbacks. Bethia has not given him a chance.
Well, I mean, this thing started ugly when Chris Ricks barely got the snap from David Castillo, keeps it alive, and then it got uglier, and we're both thinking, just throw it away.
Well, it was good
just
coverage
throw it
in the
away.
end zone.
It's great coverage, and then Chris Davis comes back. Not a beautiful throw, but what an unbelievable job by Chris Davis.
I mean, Waddell was...
you can't fault Waddell. I mean, he doesn't... Coverage
he was
all
all over him.
Yeah. But that's the same, you know, it's just, you constantly have to with Chris Ricks. He's got a lot of bravado in him. You're going to have to take the bad with the good. Just ride it out and see what happens.
Had those butterfly stitches on Justice. Here's a pass to Blizzard. And Blizzard has a first down. Haven't called his name as much as we thought we would tonight. Bobby Blizzard has 4 catches. Correction, that's done.
Take a look at the Nissan drive summary for North Carolina. And if Nissan drove as well as North Carolina, they'd have to change their name to Edsel. It has not been very good. The wheels came off about a quarter and a half ago.
It's not like they weren't getting the plays. I mean, they were running a lot of plays. They just couldn't capitalize. Here's a look at Chad Scott. The ball's loose. Fulware is on top of it along with Piccoon. And Florida State comes up with it. Piccoon is the guy who got it.
Well, you can see the guys who haven't been playing because they've got all whites on. B.J. Ward, what a nice job. You know, he's a long-arm guy. Ward had 4 blocked field goals last year because he's 6'3" with great leaping ability and long arms, and he just stuck that hand in there, ripped it out. And Piccoon, one of the young linebackers that they're very excited about. This young linebacking core for Florida State, not as fast as the guys that are in there, but are more physical. They may have to change their defense a little bit next year to take advantage of that.
So right back on offense they go. Chris Ricks, you think by now they might be giving way to Fabian Walker. Ricks still in there. Here's the reverse. This is Willie Reed. He's got speed. Can he get around the corner? Just barely. Picks up a yard. Hey, next Saturday, join ABC Sports for a terrific college football regional tripleheader. At noon Eastern, you'll see NC State battle Wake Forest. Then at 3:30, it's Auburn against Georgia Tech or UCLA Colorado. Ed and I will be in Boulder. And at 8, catch Florida against fellow Sunshine State powerhouse Miami or other regional action. Check local listings for the games in your area, but a huge weekend here on Labor Day weekend on ABC. It continues next weekend and all the way through the championship game of the BCS, right here on your station. Station of Champions, ABC Sports. 2nd down and 7. Ricks with good protection, now looks deep. He's going after Davis. Incomplete and no flags, but I want to tell you, they had his shoulder and carried his jersey. Waddell was all over it.
Yeah, Waddell had that right arm draped over Davis pretty well.
Which is a good play. If you're going to get beaten, take the 15 yards and don't give up the touchdown.
Chris Davis, a guy that Jeff Bowden was so anxious to see in action tonight. They said he has an amazing ability to go up, get the ball, and always land on his feet. It's like taking a cat and throwing him out a window. He's always going to land on his feet and come down, and he continues to run with it.
There's another guy you pulled for. He injured his knee just before arriving at Florida State.
Play, yeah.
3rd down and 7. Ricks tries to set up the screen, now goes outside. Escapability, you bet. Lorenzo Booker takes it all the way back down to 1st down area.
Doug Justice might have left a piece of laundry on the grass.
Where do they mark it? They mark it close to that 1st down marker.
Well, now you know why Lorenzo Booker,
I think he got it.
2001 was considered the best running back in the country coming out of St. Bonaventure High School in Ventura, California. He's got the looks of a good one, doesn't he?
Well, you saw his running ability earlier, and now he's got 4 catches out of the backfield, so he is extremely talented, and they bring the chains across for the measurement.
Well, he's got that jump cut.
I think he got it, didn't he?
We got a 1st down.
There you go.
Well, them old eyes are hanging in there for you, aren't they? Hey, he had that by the stripe of the football.
You mean you couldn't see that?
I mean, this guy, he's got the looks of it. He's not a big physical guy. I mean, he's not going to be pounding. Maybe more, they're going to have to use him more like a Warwick Dunn type guy.
Distance I can see, but I need longer arms now to reach.
I'll hold it over here for you.
1st down Seminoles. High formation, loaded backfield for Ricks.
He saw the blitz. The cornerback showed it too soon down at the bottom there.
Plenty of time on the play clock. Here's the give to Booker, breaks through, looks into the secondary, and is inside the 10. Lorenzo Booker, a gain of 16.
Well, I tell you what, that was just a great audible by Chris Ricks. He saw the blitz coming from the strong side. Cornerback was sneaking down inside. The audible's off to a little dive handoff, and that's the best thing to do. If you're not looking for big yardage against a blitz, get something quick inside, because a guy like Booker, if he makes the 1st level of defenders miss, he's into the 2nd level, and if those guys are blitzing, it can end up being a big gain or even a touchdown.
1st down and goal for the Noles. 3-step drop, look to the corner, timing pattern. Sam almost had it. Going for that 4x4 corner for the timing pattern in the end zone, and good coverage by Hawkins forced PK Sam out of bounds.
Well, that was nice coverage. Hawkins, a guy as a true freshman who had to play.
You know, when this season began, Bobby Bowden got his team together and he says, our goals are unity and image. That's how close that was. That's good coverage by Hawkins.
You know, the other thing that Bobby did, he came out of the booth, or came out of the tower in practice, started getting more involved in all the practices with the individual groups.
Well, I was going to say, unity they have. Image, he said, took 20 years to build, took 20 minutes to tear down. Same play, PK Sam, did he have it? No, bobbled it. Back in the end zone. He thought it was a touchdown. They were working on Lionel Green that time, the transfer from junior college. Thought that was pretty interesting when he said that.
Yeah, it goes quick, doesn't it? No, good call by the officials. He just didn't catch it clean. He caught the back end of it and got it stuck on the back of his leg.
So it brings up third down, or fourth down, correction, and overthrows it. That was third down. Intended again for PK Sam. Seems like Sam's had about 4 or 5 attempts on his one drive.
These young receivers for Florida State felt like they had something to prove. You know, Anquan Bolden, and you mentioned Tallman Gardner, those guys were just kind of the locked-in #1 guys last year, and they feel like they want to prove they should have been playing a little bit more.
26-yard attempt. Xavier Bapia had one blocked on an extra point earlier. Good snap, good hold, and he splits the sticks again. So with 1:54 to play in the third, Florida State extends its lead to 37-0. And the Seminoles, tired of hearing all that talk about North Carolina splitting with them the last 2 years. One of the worst beatings they ever had was right here in Kenan 2 years ago. And they're making a statement tonight. When we talked to Bobby Bowden yesterday, we talked about that image
of a lot of people. In other words, when it happens, my feeling is nearly, well, so what? This is the way life is nowadays. Yes, this kid broke a rule. Yes, this kid was involved in this. Yes, this kid was involved in that. But look at society. They're worse. You know, and so to me, it's just the way society is nowadays. It's not good, and say, well, what are you going to do about it? How are you going to stop it? Well, let's blame the guy. Let's go quit blaming the program. Let's go quit blaming the coach. Let's quit blaming society. This guy made a mistake. He's got to pay the price. You know, let him pay the price and move on.
You know, when he was talking about that, I thought he was going to jump in my lap. He kept coming closer and closer. He was so animated, and he believed in it so passionately at what he was saying. And I agreed with him 100%. Put it on the kid. You know, the society. This isn't the same society we've had in the past.
No, they're grown men, and you know, you are responsible for the characters you bring into your program.
Well, I understand that.
But you know what? We met with Adrian McPherson twice last year. Did you have any idea that that's the type of kid that could have done the things that he did?
Waddell back at the end zone, and for the 7th time tonight, there will be no return.
We did that NC State game last year, Tim, when everything started kind of falling apart for both the Seminoles and all the all-field stuff and Adrian McPherson. Did you have any idea, after talking to him, meeting with him, getting to know him as a guy, that all of those things could have been going on in his life? I mean, to me, I think that Bobby Bowden, he's right. After a while, those kids have to be held accountable for their actions.
So with 1:54 to go in the third period, North Carolina takes over. Ronnie Mcgill comes back in at tailback. The freshman's going to get a workout now. Welcome to the big time as he goes against Florida State, picks up a couple of tough yards and gets tattooed by Piccoon and Nicholson. Ronnie Mcgill is 5'11", 209 pounds, a true freshman. He's got balance, quick, strength, vision from Clover, South Carolina. It's going to be fun to watch him over his career.
And that was a really good story John Bunting told when they got the film of him from high school. He heard a rumor that Lou Holtz was going to show up at his house that night, so he sent the coach that was recruiting him down there to state to try to ward off Lou Holtz. And sure enough, Lou was there that night trying to talk McGill into going to South Carolina.
Grant just throws it away on 2nd and 7.
Well, Fabian Walker's warming up for Florida State, and you got to think that maybe it's time to look at C.J. Stevens or Matt Baker, who are kind of code number 2 right now for the Tar Heels, getting them some time.
Might see changes on both sides. Although it'll be tough to get Darian out of the game, even if they want to make a change just to save him. Here's Durant, backside pressure, and he goes down hard. And that's why you would make a change at this point, because Eric Moore had a beat on him and just leveled him.
Number 1 rule for left tackle, do not get beat inside. Because when you get beat inside, look at the stab with the inside hand. It's a direct line to the quarterback, going one-on-one on that side with Brian Chakos, a former tight end, and you just cannot get beat inside.
Played against his dad, Andy. Know his uncle Donnie very well. Played at Maryland with us. That ball's a fumble. Robinson lost the handle there. Got blocked into his own man. 32-yard punt, no return.
And that's got rid of the rule, the halo rule this year.
You know, you were talking about all the pressures of Bobby Bowden, and certainly, I mean, he's been crucified in the media. And there was even talk earlier today, hey, you know, will you ever fire Bobby Bowden, that kind of thing. You know, he's a quality guy. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, he lives and dies football and loves his kids. And he's been so successful as you look at these numbers. When you've got Paterno and Paul Bear Bryant on both sides of you, and Pop Warner's up on that screen with you, you've been very successful in what you do, and that's coaching football and teaching kids.
Fabian Walker comes in just as the rain does.
Lorenzo Booker hit by Chase Page. Chase was funny when we sat down and talked, and he said, I like defense because you can get a sack, you can hit a guy, you can get on television. They give a hero shot of you and they talk about you. On the offensive line, they don't unless you do something bad.
Well, there's a guy who's gained over 40 pounds since he came to campus as a 250-pound offensive lineman. He's now a 292-pound defensive tackle, but just not quite weathered enough to take the storm of Florida State.
After Crifonzo Thorpe breaks a tackle across midfield and back into North Carolina territory he goes. 7 catches for Thorpe. Terrific night for him. He's right there in Tallahassee. Grew up in the shadow of Florida State University.
Track guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And probably the fastest guy in the conference. Remember, Anquan Bolden passed up his senior year, and Talman Gardner is gone, so the receiving corps is young. And well, anytime they look at Darian Durant's hand, you get a little bit concerned. This is a little bit further up.
He's pulling on that thumb, and that's the thumb that he had surgery on. Remember, he broke it on that helmet against Virginia last year. Smashed
Walker.
It.
Boy, that's good coverage on the corner that time. Cedric Holt got a good break on the ball. Almost had the pick.
You know, that's tough. You mentioned earlier about trying to get Darian Durant to come out of the game. He's so competitive, and he just feels like he has so much to prove. But at some point, the coach has to say, listen, I'm not going to risk you for the rest of the year. We're down 37-0. I'm not going to risk you getting hurt, and you just hope this is nothing serious. It doesn't look like it is, but
10 ticks left in the third period. Jesse Stein back to punt. Good snap. Aims it for the corner. This is a wobbly kick. Hits at the 5 and goes into the end zone. Almost a terrific kick, but a 46-yarder. That's a touchback. They'll bring that one out to the 20 with 1 second left in the quarter. The way this game started off, we thought this could be 100-0.
It's not going to get there, but it's been awfully lopsided.
Still have 15 minutes left.
Oh boy, and John Bunting said it all when he said it at halftime. These guys are good.
As hard as John has worked, he's such a people person. You feel badly for him. He's worked so hard psychologically and physically with these kids to build this program and rebuild it. And he's got so much youth and played so many freshmen last year and continues to play freshmen as he gets the team, the players that he recruited onto the team.
Well, and things are not going to get easier next year when the Hurricanes and the Hokies show up on their schedule as a conference opponent.
C.J. Stevens in the game now, so both teams have switched quarterbacks. The motion man is Ricky Cook. They give to the tailback, and McGill to the 22-yard line.
And I think John Bunting finally getting the look that he really wants at this true freshman, McGill. McGill had some heat sickness during training camp, actually missed 5 days, and Bunting was a little hesitant to play him too much. Now he's getting that look.
So that's the end of the third period. It's all Florida State 37, Carolina nothing. ABC Sports will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
The all-new 265 horsepower Nissan Maxima.
Like that lunch? Hey, hon, how are ya? We're good. You know us, up at the crack of dawn, right on schedule, no fooling around. In fact, gotta go. Real busy here, and Dip says hi.
You kind of have to know.
I feel like I kind of do.
Picture mail that talks from Sprint. Now at Sprint stores, get great deals on a wide selection of PCS Vision picture phones starting at $99.99. Share it when it happens.
Our son Bobby just got engaged to a rich girl who goes to Harvard. That was the first red flag.
Then we found out her parents were bleeding hot liberals.
That was the second red flag.
Then we met her parents.
And those red flags just keep on coming.
It's All Relative, coming out Wednesday, October 1st, only on ABC.
My boys always had an appetite for Sunnies, even when they were little. Now we come to Sunnies for the new pork 3 ways. Try to get along, boys. It's a huge platter of ribs, sliced pork, and pulled pork, only $8.99.
Sunny's new pork 3 ways. Over a pound of feel-good barbecue with potatoes, coleslaw, and garlic bread. At only $8.99, it won't last long.
They always clean their plate.
You bet.
Even when they were little.
At Sunny's, we're gonna make you feel good.
They have been planning this trip for months.
I don't think it went well.
You never know what's going to happen.
Definitely, they had a lot of bad luck.
Is that a cat?
I felt so bad for them.
I thought a little ice cream would cheer them up.
I had an idea. Publix Premium Moose Tracks.
Moose what?
Moose Track Camping. It's our premium vanilla with pieces of peanut butter cup candy bar
and thick fudge.
Oh, we used the best ingredients.
I think the rest of the trip went pretty well.
Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
You're watching ABC News Channel 27.
Pitch back to McGill is high, and they lose yardage as we start the final 15 minutes here at Kenan Stadium in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. If you're just joining us, Florida State has dominated right from the get-go. 37-0 is our score. Both quarterbacks have now departed the premises. Darian Durant, they were looking at his arm. They've taken him out of the ball game to protect him. And on the other side, Chris Ricks, who had a spectacular night tonight. They take him out with a 37-0 lead. Keep in mind, Florida State has the second toughest schedule in the country.
It's no joke.
So you don't want to waste anybody.
Statistically, a very good night.
17 of 26. Little swing pass on the corner, and Doc Lewis picks up 2 yards, 2 tough yards. Still not back to the original line of scrimmage after the muffed lateral to McGill.
Seminoles play at Notre Dame. I mean, along with all their ACC, which the ACC is so much better than it was 6-7 years ago. At Notre Dame, at Florida, home versus Colorado, home versus Miami. NC State is going to be fantastic this year. Virginia has made great strides under Al Groh. This is a very difficult schedule.
First punt of the night for David Wooldridge. It's a high wobbler, but it chases Davis all the way back to the 14-yard line. Looks for a wall. Makes a cut, and look out. He's got speed. Up to the 40. Midfield, cut inside the 40-yard line before he's finally taken down. So a great punt, but I think he outpunted his coverage.
Yes, he did.
55-yard punt, 61 officially, and a 36-yard return.
Well, and you're starting to see some of these young athletes that Bobby Bowden's been recruiting that kind of been in the wayside. Chris Davis was hurt. Now he's back, and Lorenzo Booker. These are fantastic young ball players.
13-19 to play, and it can't go fast enough for John Bunning.
One thing that can break up any party? A broken chip. Get Tostitos Gold. The Tostitos that are made extra thick. Perfect for hearty dips. Tastes so good, you never know who'll show up.
So, guy goes into a bar.
Tostitos Gold. The perfect chip for hearty dips.
He's after a man.
He's got a face like a weasel.
Who's after a fortune.
It's worth millions.
Now everyone's after them on September 26th.
Okay, here, Bob.
Don't worry, they're little people. But you can take them as little.
Ow! That's my heart.
The chase is on.
You got the moves. I'll give you that.
The Rundown, rated PG-13. At theaters Friday, September 26th.
Ow!
Spicy. Boneless. Cool.
Chili's boneless buffalo wings. Want more flavor?
Chili's.
We got a problem up here. Tower 12, weather's moving it.
I'm heading up.
Do you have the right truck? Does your truck have a Duramax diesel? Does it have an Allison transmission? Silverado. It's the right truck from Chevy. The most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
They set up in the eye on this, the last play of the game. And here's the snap. Hand off to the tailback. Peterson tries the right side. Wow, what a hit. But he stays on his feet, and he's broken to the outside, and it's wide open. Touchdown. Give him a touchdown.
To stop the worst, you need the best.
Just doing the job.
Threat Matrix premieres Thursday, September 18th on ABC.
Chris Davis' spectacular return on the punt has set up Florida State once again all the way down to the Carolina 40. So Fabian Walker, the quarterback, gives to Willie Reed. Willie Reed around the corner, gets the first, and is down to the 25-yard line. 5'10", 189-pound sophomore from Kathleen, Georgia, has terrific speed, and that puts a smile on his face. Gain of 16.
And they asked the Ram how he thought the defense played tonight. He said, bad.
That's bad.
That is bad. He's a little tired. He needs a nap. You think the other Rams make fun of his baby blue horns?
You know, you're out of control, and it's only the first week.
It's 37-0, Tim.
With 13-12 to play, and it's first down. Here's the pitch back. Once again to Reed. Around the corner. He's got speed to the 20. Fabian Walker, 6'2", 219-pound junior.
And if things couldn't have gone worse last year for Florida State with the Sugar Bowl, Chris Ricks hit snooze one too many times before a final. Fabian Walker comes in as a starting quarterback and promptly hurts his shoulder, which he had to have surgery on.
But you know, he says he throws better since that offseason shoulder surgery and that it has helped him immensely. Actually thought about transferring. Ricks and Walker were sacked 24 times in 2 scrimmages against their own defense. They wanted to play Carolina tonight. Here's Davis again. Let's go downstairs. Here's Sam.
All right, Tim. Well, Darian Durant, we say, is out of the game. UNC trainers tell us he's got a thumb cramp. That's why he's sitting right now. If the game was a lot closer, though, they say he would be back in. It's just a thumb cramp, guys.
All right, Sam, that's good news.
I've heard of a thigh cramp, a calf cramp, a neck cramp. What in the world is a thumb cramp?
I think anything can cramp. I get brain cramps all the time.
And I'm standing here to witness them sometimes.
No, that's good news. I mean,
there's a muscle in there.
Sure, and after his thumb surgery, and he told us the thumb.
Oh, it was like a potato chip.
Yeah, just
they
fractured.
had to do the surgery the next day, or else it would have just continued to disintegrate.
Walker to Reed. Back to the original line of scrimmage. Time permitting, stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental postgame report featuring scores and highlights from across the country, and there were plenty of games today. Long, long day for John and Terry in the studio.
Well, I'm assuming, since we haven't gotten a Washington-Ohio State update in a while, being a Washington alum, that things weren't very pretty up there for the Huskies in Columbus. Didn't start so well.
41-yard attempt for Bethia. This will be important if you're playing Miami. I shouldn't have said Miami.
Oh, boy.
I should not have said Miami.
Well, I tell you what.
Do you believe that?
Boy, he has really, really struggled. And we talked to Bobby about this. Since he missed that long kick against Miami to win the game, he has missed. He missed in spring practice and in fall practice. That's got to be a concern for Bobby.
He was only 19 of 28 last year with 5 misses inside the 40.
And strawberries have finally gotten together. Berry Burst Cheerios. Real strawberries, together with those classic O's. For a taste you can really fall in love with. Hey, I think I love you. Berry Burst Cheerios. In both strawberry and triple berry.
We got a situation. What's your 20? I'm there.
Do you have the right truck? Does your truck have a big block Vortec V8 and an Allison transmission? Does it have the most torque of any gas-powered heavy-duty pickup? Silverado. It's the right truck from Chevy. The most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
Hey, you okay?
Yeah.
Life's little expenses. Another good reason to keep your car around. That's why at 75,000 miles, switch to Valvoline's Max Life. Its added ingredients help prevent wear on critical parts.
Hello, gorgeous girl.
At 75,000, time to switch to Max Life.
ABC Sports presentation of college football is brought to you by Chevy Silverado. It's the right truck. Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you. And Pacific Life. Annuities, insurance, investments. Use the power of Pacific Life. Well, they party on Franklin Street whether they win or lose, and the party started early tonight because Florida State ended this one quickly. 11:19 to play, 37-0. Florida State. Tim Brandt, Ed Cunningham, and Sam Ryan with you. Chapel Hill, North Carolina, Kenan Stadium tonight. A lot of the folks have already abandoned the premises. Darian Durant out of the game. C.J. Stevens, the quarterback. See if he can generate any offense. They've been unable to score. Actually, Matt Baker now comes in for C.J. Stevens. Out of the shotgun. 2nd down and 2. Baker throws deep. Incomplete. Good coverage by Rufus Brown.
You know, Xavier Bethia, you mentioned Miami and he missed the kick, and you go all the way back.
Yeah, I didn't mean
to that.
Yeah.
Well,
as soon as I said Miami, it went wide.
I don't think you had
it
that
happens
much
like
control.
that automatically.
But, you know, Bobby Bowden's very concerned because from that time, before that kick, he was close to 90%. 26 of 29 was Bethia. And since then, he's 6 of 14, which is well below 50%. And he said that continued through spring ball and fall practice. And he's been kicking the ball very well on PATs and kickoffs, but it's got to be a big concern.
Pass complete to Mike Mason. They put that ball on the 37-yard line. Mark Mason, a true freshman, getting his Mike Mason, a true freshman, getting his opportunity here. One of the top high school recruits in North Carolina. He's out of Rocky Mount.
State of North Carolina triple jump champion as a senior in high school.
Matt Baker looked pretty good throwing that ball too.
Yes, he did.
Baker with time, throws over the middle, almost intercepted. Intended for Justin Phillips. Sundays this fall on ABC, an ex-juvenile delinquent from New York has one last chance to redeem himself by becoming a cop in L.A. Officers on duty. Sundays this fall right here on ABC. 10-8.
Well, it's 37-0 here. Be nice if it was 10-8.
Here's the pass to Brandon Russell.
I was hoping you were going to get that. Wasn't very good, but.
You know, Carolina's run a lot of plays tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And they've just not been able to do anything.
Well, you know, they had those drives early. A couple of 8- and 9-play drives, and Curry had that ball. It's tough to tell, but maybe, you know, the official had the right call with B.J. Ward knocking it out right there at the end, and then 2 missed field goals by Dan Orner. If they could have converted on those drives, I mean, I still think that Florida State was a superior team tonight, but who knows what may have happened offensively.
Here's a good pass. That was on a rope to Rumley. Ball's loose. They get it back and don't have enough for the first down now.
Well, the question is, Tim, he had first down yardage and then fumbled, so it's the start of a new play. Correct?
Did they rule he had possession?
I think they did, yeah. So if he had possession beyond the sticks.
No, the play continues until the ball is recovered. Is that not correct? So that would bring up fourth down.
Okay.
Here's the catch.
Fourth down, 2 to go.
He's got the first there, but now the fumble.
What a
and the play
shame.
continues until it's recovered there, so that they lose the first down yardage.
I thought he'd recovered it further up, but that's a shame.
Having trouble getting the freshman Mike Mason in position. Now they do. Going for it on fourth down. Why not? Here's Baker. Plenty of time. Throws underneath. Has it. There's Mason.
You got to get the yards. Come on now. Well, that's a big freshman mistake.
The true freshman playing high school ball this time last year, and the coaches come right out to him and tell him about the mistake.
Yep. Well, all he had to do was fall forward right when he caught that ball.
He's pointing at the first down marker. But see, this is more teaching than it is criticizing.
Oh, sure. And that's Gunter Brewer, the wide receivers coach. And you like to see that. You're right. I mean, he's not chewing him out. He's saying, listen, know where the sticks are. You were right on the sticks when you caught the ball. You're not going to take it to the house. Just move it forward and let's get the first down.
8:32 remaining in the ball game from Keenan.
How do you not call that? You know, that's a point of emphasis every year, is safety of players in defenseless positions. I don't care if the game's out of hand. You've got to protect that quarterback. You got to throw the flag on that.
Timeout on the field. A little bit of confusion. Fabian Walker looked over to the sidelines, and then all the whistles blew.
Cross to the snap of a delay of game on the offense. That's a 5-yard penalty.
There you go. Delay game. They move them back.
Well, I think it should be North Carolina's ball anyway. After that late hit on the quarterback, I mean, it's clearly late. They knocked him to the ground. I mean, if they bumped into him, it's one thing, but.
Yeah, but you also were calling for the mercy rule earlier. You just wanted to get down to Franklin Street.
Every place is going to have a line now.
You're a big star. They got that back door for you. Here's Fabian Walker. First down and forever.
Pass is complete. The fullback
and a complete pass to James Coleman, the fullback, a walk-on who was awarded a scholarship this fall. Let's take you back to New York. John Saunders. John?
Well, Tim, I know you guys have been looking for this score. It has gotten out of hand, although Cody Pickett gets 6 back here as he runs it in from 2 yards out. 2-point conversion, no good, but the Buckeyes are rolling to the victory.
John, that's more than we've had on this side. Still a goose egg for Carolina. Florida State has dominated from the get-go. Here's Walker again on second down and long. Goes to the corner and has it complete to Chris Davis.
Walker's pass is complete.
Chris Davis to the 30. Tried to give ground and couldn't make up, but that's a good passing catch. Walker to Davis.
Well, that was a really nice throw.
Gain of 14.
It's kind of scary as a quarterback. Throwing that deep out all the way across the field, and you've got to throw it long before Chris Davis. The ball is in the air right now, or else it's going to be late, and the cornerback is going to have time to cut underneath of it. That's Lionel Green, a junior college transfer from Morton, Texas.
First down for Florida State. Ball at the 27. 3-step drop. Walker throws incomplete. You know, right now, John Bunny's got to be thinking, if there's this much difference between Florida State and our ball club here, what happens next year when Miami comes into the conference, Virginia Tech comes into the conference? Maryland and Virginia certainly have improved. NC State, by beating Notre Dame and Florida State last year at the end of the season, they are now a national team that is certainly talented to play with anybody. I mean, this league has changed dramatically.
You know, if you run down the coaches in the ACC, this is very quickly going to be one of the power football guys. It's going to be up there with the Big 12 and the SEC. With the coaches that are here now, and then you add Virginia Tech and Miami into the mix, this is going to be an amazing football conference.
Carolina defense not giving up, continues to battle. They got some warriors out there. Willie Reed had nowhere to run there, so they lose yardage again.
Well, you know, when a game gets lopsided like this, what you're playing for? Film sessions tomorrow. Well, you better be giving everything you've got on every play, because you got to know that unless things start to improve, there's going to be some changes at different positions, and you don't want to be one of the guys singled out for not giving your full effort for four quarters.
Well, not only that, but John Bunning wants to make sure his guys don't quit, even in a lopsided game. Here's Reed. Gets to the corner. Good play on the corner, and now steps out of bounds at the 27, so they get back to the original line of scrimmage. Certainly not enough for the first down.
Well, and that was one of the things yesterday when we sat down with him about, you know, last year. They're so young that they just don't have enough seniors and juniors to have true leadership. He feels like he's got a little better core of that this year, and he thinks that they'll be able to bounce back from some of this adversity a little bit better. Now, this is a lot of adversity that they're going to have to bounce back from, and they'll learn a lot from this experience.
Fourth down and 10. Walker looks, pumps. Backside pressure chase, and he throws it away.
Taken down in the backfield by Madison Hedgecock.
Flag around the 31-yard line. Good pressure from behind by Isaac Mooring and Madison Hedgecock.
Holding on the offense. The penalty is declined. The ball is turned over. First down.
Isaac Mooring, a guy that they moved from defensive end inside to defensive tackle. Get a little more speed. Did a nice job on his one-on-one pass rush there.
Good stop by the North Carolina defense. They'll take any of that they can tonight with 6:17 to play.
The new Impala SS. With one nasty supercharged engine. When you need the power, or not, we'll be there. Chevy.
Chevy and power. They're deep here, more confident than they had been under John Bunning, but they haven't been able to get anything on the board. Here's Young Baker, almost has it picked off. No flags yet. Nope. Good coverage. Gerald Ross was the guy that made the hit. Speaking of hits, Darian Durant really took some. Take a look at the Pacific Life game summary. Now watch Durant.
Just a little how do you do by Kendall Pope. Boy, that's a pretty good shot in the teeth, isn't it? And Howard does a great job getting underneath. And then got a case of the drops. Very difficult night for Darian Durant. And then got a little frustrated there for a minute, Tim, and he did a few things probably a little too risky, but it's kind of hard to fault him.
Well, his numbers weren't that bad overall. If you look at it, he was 18 for 31, 141 yards, but he had some passes dropped too.
Oh, yes.
Incomplete.
Left with a cramp in his thumb, but I think it was time to remove him anyway. He was taking such a beating tonight, and with the rest of the season in front of him, why risk injury, especially a guy who had surgery on that thumb and had to miss time last year.
Yeah, I was amazed when we were looking at that thumb how much range of motion he has in it. I mean, for how bad they had to put 2 or 3 pins in there to put all the bones back together. Didn't quite have the flexion, but he's got totally can squeeze it into a ball, and the surgeons did a very nice job on him.
Disappointing night for the Tar Heels. 1997, Carolina was ranked 3rd behind Florida State and Notre Dame nationally. In December that year, Mack Brown left for Texas, and layer by layer, the remnants of the Brown era been peeled away, but boy, they just haven't been able to get it tonight. So there's a catch by Pat Watkins. Interception. Pat Watkins, he got a lot of work in the spring. He's really come on. And I will tell you this, they really don't miss a beat with Watkins in there and Ward watching from the sidelines, although BJ is a pretty strong player. 5:50 to play now. War chant continues. Almost sounds like we're down in Tallahassee at Doak Campbell.
We should change before we pick up the girls. Okay.
Chevy Avalanche. It changes from a pickup to an SUV.
What are you doing?
Avalanche, like a rock.
He's getting ready. He's pumped. Now you've got to see your Bridgestone retailer during the Bridgestone Nationwide Tire Drive. Buy 4 advanced technology Bridgestone Dueler tires for your SUV or light truck and get a free Casio color TV. He's ready. Now it's your turn to get moving. The Bridgestone Nationwide Tire Drive ends October 4th. Call 1-877-TIRE-USA today.
College is in our immediate future, only not the same one. Florida, Texas, Ivy League. All 3 of us in college at the same time. We need a way to keep in touch. That won't cost us a lot.
With Singular Family Talk, add a line for just $9.99. Share your minutes nationwide with no long-distance charges. Right now, get up to 4 Nokia phones.
We call it our More Money for Books. Yeah, right. Books. Plan.
Add a line for $9.99. Another reason why Singular fits you best.
90 degrees when this game started. The band continues to work out. They've taken their shirts off now. They're down to their undershirts and their coveralls, but still working it out. Most active band here has been the Florida State band. Wyatt Sexton in the ball game now at quarterback for Florida State. He's a 6'3", 186-pound redshirt freshman from Tallahassee, Florida. So all 3 quarterbacks now have played for Florida State. Ricks, Walker, and now Sexton.
Wyatt's father, Billy, is the assistant head coach and running backs coach for Bobby Bowden. That's why he was a local product.
I wasn't a big fan of the 25-85 rule in college football until nights like this. They're playing everybody. If these were the old days when you had 100 guys on the sidelines, it'd be brutal. Sexton throws a pretty good ball, and it's incomplete, intended for Chris Davis. He almost had it. Once he bobbled it, he got tagged by Michael Harris.
That was a blitz right up the middle by Jeff Longhaney. Maybe made him rush that ball just a little high. And Chris Davis, those are the balls that got Jeff Bowden so excited during training camp and spring football, because Davis usually makes those grabs.
Carolina's not good enough yet to get by with mediocre special teams or really the defensive effort they got up front today when they were just overpowered by Florida State. Sexton going deep, has a man. And it's caught. Wow. Terrific catch by Lawrence Sam.
Boy, and Wyatt Sexton really throws a nice ball. You said that a moment ago. Look how tight this spiral is. Take nothing away from Lawrence Sam. I mean, this is a great catch. Good job stepping into the ball. Got enough air under it. Wow, that's a gorgeous ball.
I hesitated a minute because Sam came in as a quarterback. He's a freshman from Buford, Georgia. But a 45-yard gain after a spectacular catch by Sam, and he now splits again.
And, you know, a lot of people say, oh, you know, you should be running the ball or whatever. When you get younger guys in, you've got to let him try some stuff in the offense. Like Wyatt Sexton, you got to let him get some feel. He's not going to get better in practice. He's not going to get as much experience in practice against his own guys as he can in this. And you have to let a young guy throw it out. I have no problem with what Bobby and Jeff Bowden are doing right now.
Inside the 20 to the 17, the 18-yard line, but a flag down. Willie Reed is quick. Every time he touches the ball, he's picking up 2, 3, 5 yards.
Well, and I tell you, this is really good for this offensive line. Right now, I see John Frady in there at center. He's a true freshman from Jacksonville, Florida. And these are all guys that they're counting on to back up.
Have a block in the back on the offense. That's a 10-yard penalty from the spotted foul. We'll replay the down.
So they put it at the 31. And replay the down.
But Mario Henderson's in there at tackle. John Frady at center. These are two true freshmen. And they could play all they want down in Tallahassee on the practice field. But even in a blowout situation, really helps to get them on the field and get some experience.
First down and 19. Sexton, Reed, big hole, outside, lots of speed, great cut, inside the 5 to the 2.
Isn't he a wide receiver?
Finally taken down by Cedric Holt after a gain of 29.
Oh, boy. They have a couple of athletes down there in Tallahassee, don't they?
Boy, do they ever.
Wow, did you see that speed he got through that hole with?
Florida State has now won its last 14 season openers.
Look at the cut. Good vision. Played running back for 2 years before this season started.
Line him up the tailback there, his numbers. First and goal, Reed. This time taken down from behind. He gets to the 3. Boy, he's got light, quick feet.
He really does. And you remember the catch he made down on the 1-yard line? He spun around backwards when he was playing wide receiver back in the old days in the first or second quarter. Spun around, made a great play on the ball, and now here he is lining up as the I-back. And he looks like he's been there all season long, all training camp and all spring, and he hasn't.
Let him get to the corner because they won't catch him. Straight ahead they go with the fullback to the 1-yard line. Inside the 1 goes James Coleman.
Boy, it's a shame Leon Washington dislocated his elbow. You know, he had a thigh bruise in camp. Had two, they bruised it twice, and they weren't sure if he's going to play. He looked fantastic, and he's such a multi-purpose guy, returning kicks, running out of the backfield, catching out of the backfield.
Well, how about last season? Had a rushing touchdown, a touchdown on a kickoff return, and a fumble recovery for a touchdown. Ball's loose, scramble for it, and Carolina comes up with it. So the defense makes a stop. And for those fans still here, there's a terrific cheer for the Tar Heels.
Yep, all 5 of them are going nuts right now. Let's see if it's on the handoff. Yeah, Sexton just got around late. You know, that's the hardest thing for a young quarterback, the timing. And if that, you know, that fullback gets a little anxious and gets going too fast, what they're trying to do is get the linebackers to float to the left, fake a mini fake to a pitch to the running back, and then hand off behind you to the fullback. And Sexton, the young quarterback, just doesn't have the ball handling down yet. He was a little late getting that stuck in the pocket.
So the offense comes back on for the Tar Heels. And again, we see a lot of young people out there. Now C.J. Stevens does just come into the ball game, so Stevens and Baker alternating series.
C.J. Stevens at quarterback.
Play action for Stevens, back of the end zone, throws deep. That's a good-looking pass. Goes for Rumley and has it complete at the 46. Danny Rumley with a terrific catch. And a 43-yard gain for the Tar Heels.
Well, and you're starting to see this all over college football. It's been in the NFL for a while. But a lot of people now are giving up pure burner speed at the receiver spot for size. Rumley goes 6'4", 215 pounds. And he goes up there working against Antonio Cromartie, who's a big corner himself, 6'3", 200 pounds, and makes a nice play on the ball.
It was a great-looking pass from C.J. Stevens. Now a lot of pressure. He throws incomplete to McGill. But C.J. Stevens, he's a Florida kid out of Gainesville. Let's take a look at the Chevy drive summary. This will tell you some things. Last 2 possessions for Carolina.
It's exactly what they've done all night. Interceptions, downs, punts.
7 plays, 32 yards. They lose it on downs. The next possession, 3 plays, 42 yards, and they throw the pick. C.J. Stevens, swing pass. Again, it's high to McGill and incomplete. Flags are down.
Going
to be a late hit on C.J. Stevens. See, some of the Florida kids, they know C.J. from down in Gainesville. Just want to let them know they were up here in his neck of the woods now in Chapel Hill.
I believe that's Charles Howard. He got in there a little bit late.
Charles Howard is a guy they've been talking about in this camp. They say he's been unstoppable.
He had four sacks in one of their preseason scrimmages.
Appointed by the President of the United States. Do I have your attention? Well, she's smart, sexy, and lethal. From Danny DeVito and Elmore Leonard comes U.S. Marshal Karen Sisko. Premieres after The Bachelor. That's Wednesdays this fall right here on ABC. First down and 10. Stevens sacked.
Well, and here's where the guys in the bright white shirts and pants, because they haven't played yet, they want to prove to Mickey Andrews and Bobby Bowden that they deserve a shot to get into the rotation.
With the schedule they have, everybody will play this year. They'll get their chances. Second down and a taxi ride. Stevens over the middle to his tight end inside the 40. They mark it at the 38. John Dunn with the catch.
And Ernie Sims put an unbelievable hit on Marcello Church. The only problem is Church is his teammate. Oh, he knocked him out.
64 seconds left. Out of the shotgun, 3rd and long. They got a chunk of it back. Now they need 9 more for the first. And this is incomplete, intended for another true freshman, Jesse Holley.
Well, now, excuse me, Tim, but now this is where Florida State you're just playing into their hands. You got to drop back and pass every time. They're just in a track stance, man. They're just getting off the ball.
4th down. They still need 9. Defense now wants to maintain that goose egg. They want a shutout. Stevens throws over the middle. It's complete, but not enough for the first down. Mike Mason paid the price for that catch. Pat Watkins leveled him. Hey, folks, another reminder coming up Thursday night. The NFL season gets underway. Superstart on ABC. 8 Eastern. Aerosmith, Britney Spears, Mary Blige, and Aretha Franklin take the stage for the NFL Kickoff Live. Then at 9, here we go. Curtis Martin and the Jets take on the Redskins. The weekend wraps up on Monday night when the Super Bowl champion Bucks face the Eagles, all right here on ABC.
Boy, it's a shame what happened to Chad Pennington and Michael Vick. And until the NFLPA stands up to the NFL and says we're not going to play this many preseason games, you're going to continue to see marquee players that aren't just important to their team, but they're important to the entire NFL for marketing and fans and everything else. You're going to continue to see guys go down with catastrophic injuries in practice games.
Well, partner, one more play here should do it. And North Carolina will go back to the drawing board. Anybody who wants to lick their wounds will be told to leave, because I guarantee you John Bunning is going to take these guys and try to build.
No, he won't let them feel sorry for themselves.
And for Michael Boulware, who said that he wants this defense to pitch shutouts all year and become the best defense in school history, he's off to a great start. That'll do it. And Bobby Bowden picks up another win. The 73-year-old coach is still fired up and still coaching and teaching, and they get a huge win here tonight. Chevy players of the game. Chris Ricks, 17 of 26, 232 yards, 1 touchdown, and two spectacular, actually went longer than 2.5 quarters. Almost 3 quarters of play was just terrific tonight. Jaworski Polak had 8 receptions, 71 yards, and that's a career high for him. Final thoughts, Ed?
Well, we talked about the defense and Bobby Bowden. I didn't know if he was being truthful, but he said he thought this might be a championship defense. He may be right. There's a lot of speed.
Well, Labor Day weekend has been full of college football. Tonight we had some blowouts, and this was one of them. For Ed Cunningham and Sam Ryan, I'm Tim Brandt. Tonight, it was Florida State 37, North Carolina nothing. So stay tuned for your late local news over most of these ABC stations. Good night, everybody, from Chapel Hill, North Carolina.
This is SportsCenter.
On a hard-hitting Saturday, the Buckeyes begin their title defense a man down. Without their Heisman horse, the Trojans play hold that tiger. And the Mountaineers don't need no stinking Badgers. Barry returns with a powerful tribute. Give Pedro a lead and it's as good as over, right? Plus the wild card race gets jam-packed. Keep your eyes on the prize, SportsCenter, right now.
He's got a touchdown. Maurice Clarett with the play of the game. Clarett. Touchdown. Incomplete. The Buckeyes win.
What's up? Welcome with Kevin Frazier. I'm Scott Van Pelt. This is SportsCenter, and it is indeed that time of year.
Yeah, finally the games have arrived. It's the first full weekend of football in the college ranks, so really let's get busy. We start with the off-season distraction bowl. Washington visiting Ohio State. No Maurice Clarett, no Rick Neuhauser, no big deal. First quarter, Ohio State hits its two-way. It is blowing up. Chris Gamble, 14 yards. Spent the rest of the day shadowing Reggie Williams. First down there, same drive. The other, Maurice Hall into the promised land. That's just desire. 58 yards on 15 carries, 7-0 Buckeyes. How about Craig Krenzel? First and 10 on the 40, hits Michael Jenkins. He had 6 catches for 79 yards. Same drive, 2nd and 9 from the Washington 22. Krenzel drops back, sees the seam, and he's gone. 24-yard touchdown. 140 rushing yards for Ohio State on the day without Momo. Late, second quarter, still 14-0 Buckeyes. Krenzel drops back, looking, and you know what he's going to do? He's going to run it. Krenzel says, I want my second rushing touchdown. 230 yards of total offense for Craig, his second rushing TD. Now watch this again. Will Allen is wide open. And Krenzel's like, you're crazy. A little hesitation, he heads into the house. And then Maurice Clarett says, you the daddy. Buckeyes 21-0 at the half, third quarter. Lydell Ross, and that's just power running.
Yes, it is.
That's power.
That's a man.
12 carries for 42 yards, a 15-yard touchdown run. Watch it again. He just ran over Jimmy Newell. Clarett looking on, no problem for the Buckeyes as they cruise. Ohio State improves to 9.
Enrico Crittenden, your thoughts on the D?
I know I'm not supposed to say it, but I'm going to go ahead and say they have nothing on our defense.
Don't let your mouth write a check, my man. Auburn ball 3rd and 12. Jason Campbell, they say if you force him into making a mistake, he might. Bang. Darnell Bing with a pickoff. USC's got the ball at 20, a minute into the ball game. USC's 2nd and goal. Liner. His first completion to number 1. He might be number 1 in the land. Mike Williams, 8 grabs. A touchdown for USC. They're on the board quick. Auburn now punting. Kevin Arbert leveled by Carlos Dansby. Welcome to the Plains, my man. This is about all Auburn had going for it all day. Not a lot to cheer about. USC's defense in the 3rd. Matt Grudegood chasing down Campbell. Auburn had 11 first downs total in the game, Mr. Crittenden. What about that defense, my man?
I know I'm not supposed to say it, but I'm going to go ahead and say they have nothing on our defense.
All right, still not convinced. Next play, Grudegood again, forcing Auburn to turn it over. They had 164 yards total in the game, Mr. Crittenden.
I know I'm not supposed to say it, but I'm going to go ahead and say they have nothing on our defense.
All righty. Oh, Campbell. Dropped by LaJuan Ramsey. He fumbles, USC recovers. Are you going to change your mind?
I know I'm not supposed to say it, but I'm going to go ahead and say they have nothing on our defense.
We got 2 great defensive ends in LaJuan Ramsey and Kenichi Udeze, so you know what I'm saying? They were just frustrated.
Can the Wild Punch put on some clothes?
Yes, they did. 6 sacks, 3 turnovers, and a shutout. Wow, Auburn making a statement.
Straight ahead inside Sports Center, Barry returns with a bang and a very emotional tribute to his father.
Bond tips 1 a mile to deep right field. This one is way back. Out of here. Welcome back, Barry Bonds.
Could the Yanks come back against Pedro, or would their lead in the East continue to shrink? Lots of college football ahead with the likes of the Sooners, Seminoles, Huskers, and so many more. Who'll jump to number 1 in our poll of the top 10 plays from Football Saturday? And just when you thought you'd seen it all, how about this? We'll explain.
Practice, Coach Bobby Bowden said, quote, "It's still nip and tuck, and I don't know which one is nip and which one is tuck." Well, it was a lot of nip in 2002 for the Seminoles as they finished a very disappointing 9-5, but they weren't the only perennial power who fell on hard times. There were a few issues at Florida and Nebraska also, but that was last year, all 3 in action today. We start with the Noles visiting Carolina for the first time since they were waxed 41-9 2 years ago, and Chris Ricks struggled. This time, no problems because Greg Jones on his game. 8 carries for 59 yards, 7-0 FSU at that point. Still in the first quarter, and once Jones turns the corner, going, ball. I mean, he just lays it on Dexter. Watch this get pops his helmet off.
Oh, no, he did not.
233 rushing yards for Florida State. That was just ridiculous. Lorenzo Booker this time takes the pitch and takes it 21 yards for the touchdown. 553 yards of total offense for Florida State as they win going away.
Ron Zook said 2, 3, heck, maybe even 4 guys could play at QB. Over 90 grand in the swamp, most ever. Hey, there's Chris Lee. Remember what he announced where he was going right here?
Out of all the schools recruiting me, there is one that has made a commitment to my future that is second to none. For that commitment, I am trusting what I have been told and following my heart. Today, I am officially committing to Coach Ron Zook and the University of Florida.
And those 90,011 are happy he's there. We're tied at 3. San Jose State scored first. I'm sure the Fire Zook websites are going nuts. But there's Leak rolling out and hitting Andre Caldwell. Led to a Gator field goal, 6-3 in the second quarter. Ingle Martin, who started at QB, has the Gators threatening. Kelvin Knight. Well, we've seen this movie before. 27-3 Gators starting to stretch it out. They had more than 300 more yards than did San Jose State. Leak hits Knight, quick out. He scoots to the paint. 3 different quarterbacks threw touchdowns. Florida in control, and let's look at that final. They squeaked by 62.
Nebraska quarterback Jamal Lord said that all the team's offseason work would be wasted if they lost to Oklahoma State. First quarter, and the Cowboys come out rolling. Josh Fields to Rashawn Woods, 29 yards on the play. He caught 5 balls for 47 yards. Same drive. Fields, Woods, touchdown. Fields, 13 of 28 for 97 yards, but he threw 3 interceptions. Watch it again. Woods just shakes off the defender like he's a little boy. Nebraska had problems with their kicking game all day long. Sandro DeAngelis misses one attempt off an upright later. Schwack. That one's blocked. He was 1 for 3 on field goal attempts. but the black shirt stepped up. New defensive coordinator Bo Pelini's unit was strong. They held Oklahoma State to just 57 yards in the second half. Barrett Rudd recovers it and scores 10-7 at that point. And then Josh Fields fumbles. Robert Davis recovers for Nebraska. 5 turnovers for the Cowboys. That's a problem. And watch Judd Davies. That's a biggie. He gets in the end zone. Huskers win 17-7.
Number 1 in the nation welcomes number 1 in the Sun Belt. That's Oklahoma and North Texas. Jason White warming up and looking like the throwback squad from the 50s, Bud Wilkinson's team. It's hard to tell in the black and white video, but trust us, they look very, very similar. Very similar. Say again?
Were they red?
I think. Okay. That's what I'm told. Second quarter, Oklahoma up 10-0. White looking for Brandon Jones in the rain. 64 yards, and he is gone. Sooners up by 17. White had 3 touchdowns in the game. Oklahoma wins 37-3.
Ohio State didn't have luck.
Sean Williams, he went for 98 yards on the ground and had 3 scores. And here, with Bama up 20-17, they're setting up the wall and running it to perfection. Bama reels off 33 straight so they can all take a deep breath and exhale, because Bama was in command and they cruise, and Coach Schuler gets a shower a little early.
Defending SEC champs, 9th-ranked Georgia opening up against Clemson. Welcome to Death Valley.
Not so much.
The Clemson
Not
fans
so much
fired up. That was about as good as it got for Clemson. David Green, the play action. Fred Gibson is wide open.
Gibson got him open for a touchdown. Touchdown. Take a shot. Remember, he get a first down.
4 balls for 104 yards. Later, second quarter, Charlie Whitehorse pitches and throws to Dwayne Coleman on the halfback pass, but no call on the interference. Under 3 minutes to go, DJ Shockley running from the shotgun, splits the defense. The kids nice. Georgia rolls 30-zip. Clemson held to 188 total yards of offense.
Entertaining Big Ten Big East clash from Morgantown. Let's go Mountaineers. Let's go drink some beers. Rasheed Marshall just gets blowed up by Alex Lewis right there. What a shot. Watch it one more time. Lewis drills Marshall. Marshall left the game, but he would return. Rich Rodriguez, your team's up by 3 on the number 20 team in the country. What are you going to do in the second half?
Yes, sir. Understand what we're about. We're going to hit you in the mouth. We're going to be physical. Every snap, every guy. You got me? Let's go. Let's go.
Here come the boys from Mad City. Jim Sorgi to Lee Evans. So good to see him back on the field. Missed an entire season. He had 7 catches, 70 yards in this score, and we are knotted back up, and then it's the AD show. Anthony Davis is a bona fide star. He goes for 167. And watch this. This is like you on the Xbox game. Oh, no, you didn't.
Right trigger,
no, he didn't.
That's
just,
right trigger.
Right trigger. Just, you got that, I don't. Yeah. 26-14 in first downs. That's a touchdown. AD finishing off a 167-yard day. Wisconsin comes back from down 10 to win.
Much more Sports Center to come. Back to baseball. Still more shuffling in that wild NL wild card chase. And look who's taking the upper hand in the American League Central. The Big Ten certainly played up to its maximum potential, while we have a few underdogs who were full of Saturday surprises. Plus, we'll check back in with the game day crew. What's next for the Buckeyes, and is all that Tiger talk for real? But wait, there's more. A top 10 from the college football gridiron that you don't want to miss.
This is Sports Center.
Gators scored 65, a la Steve Spurrier and Wisconsin.
Platt drops back to pass. We freeze the video because that's lightning. A flash of lightning. Doesn't slow down Derek McCoy because he's like a flash of lightning. 78-yard touchdown on the pass. 35-21 Colorado. It's over, right? Both teams go into the locker room because of the lightning. The game delayed 28 minutes, fourth quarter, 3rd and 2. Van Pelt holds on to it, fakes the option, takes a lick, and keeps on rolling. Game tied at 35. Van Pelt 339 yards passing, and maybe all that junk talk was worthy. 2nd and 7. CSU 38, Jeremy Bloom, not just a skier. Great catch. Klatt had 402 yards passing and 4 TDs, and Bobby Purify dives in for the touchdown. Colorado's drive late in the game. 6 plays, 75 yards. Gary Barnett finally gets a win in an opener as Colorado sneaks by 42-35, and yeah, wash that mouth out, son.
Heck of a ball game. Speaking of Mother Nature, in full effect down at LSU, a torrid rain delay. 39 minutes. That just gave the folks in Baton Rouge time to enjoy. Hey, Matt Mock, a completion to Michael Clayton. He takes it all the way to the paint. LSU up 21-love, and they cruise from there. To the ACC, Duke's lost a record 25 straight, though the series with UVA tied at 27. Scary moment. Matt Schwab goes down, hurts his shoulder, had a sling on during the game, never came back. Anthony Martinez, long completion to Art Thomas. Al Gross said there's a lot of excitement in Charlottesville right now. Folks think they might be able to win the ACC. Wally Lundy takes it in from there. Cavaliers blank a pretty game Duke team, 27-0.
Back to baseball. Jimmy Edmonds is just the daddy.
Stupidity.
Cardinals win 6-3. Brandon has to laugh at that one.
Wow. Houston tied atop the NL Central when the day began. Jared Fernandez looking for win number 2. Minus goals. Mark Loretta going deep. Lance Berkman normally does it with the bat. Here he doesn't climb the wall, but he jumps. Good looking grab. Top 4. Miguel Ojeda. This is not the same thing. Same deal. Berkman looks for the wall. Well done. Berkman also at homer. Top 8, Billy Wagner in for Houston at 7-6. Bases loaded. Brian Giles, new Padre. Cue shot. He's out at first. Wagner gets out of the jam. Bottom 8, a bizarre moment. Billy Wagner at the plate. At the plate, a 3-1 count. Wagner's first career RBI. The Astros win it by a score of 11-6.
All right, so we checking on the Brewers and Cubs, and Scott Podsednik facing Sean Estes. With 2 on, Podsednik sneaks a single in that does damage. Every Brewers starter except Wes Helms reached base. 4-1 Brewers at that point. With Podsednik on first, Keith Ginter at the plate, and Podsednik steals second. So Ginter still at bat. Estes does the crazy wild thing, allows Podsednik to move to third base. Now Brady Clark at bat, and during the at bat, for some reason Estes throws the first, and Podsednik steals home. It's the first time a Brewer player has stolen home since '98. Brewers beat the Cubs again.
A lot of talk about college football. Some news from the pro game. The revolving quarterback door in Baltimore continues to turn. Kyle Bowler, the 19th pick in this year's draft, was late getting to Ravens camp, but the Cal product has proven to be a quick study. His 7-for-9, 99-yard, 2-touchdown performance last night against New York, combined with Chris Redman's 1-for-6, 11-yard showing, has convinced Brian Billick that Bowler is his guy. This is the 5th different starter and 5 openers for Baltimore under Billick.
This NFL Report, brought to you by Lincoln Financial Group. Clear solutions in a complex world.
The Sports Center rolls on. A season of misery in East Lansing for Jeff Smoker last year. He's back on the field. We'll show you how he looked. And it is early, but that does not mean you don't have to strap it on to watch the top 10 on Sports Center. Don't move or you'll miss all the blowing up.
That was a lift right there.
Get to Mazda's zero-time event one way or another. Get 0.0% APR financing for 5 full years or up to $2,500 cash back on thousands of 2003 Mazdas. One way or another, you'll save. That's 0% financing for 5 years or cash back on 2003 Mazda cars, trucks, SUVs, and minivans. See your Mazda dealer for a test drive. You've got zero time to wait.
One way or another, I'm gonna see ya. Put the phone down. Yeah, you. Now try again. And this time, dial 1-800-COLLECT. It's easy. Just put the 1-800 before collect. A man of few words. 1-800-COLLECT. Save a buck or two.
Give your engine what it wants. Pennzoil with time release protection helps keep engines running stronger, longer. Not just oil, Pennzoil.
Todd,
At Hotels.com, we really know our way around hotels. We visit thousands of hotels to find you the best prices at the best places. Hotels.com. Best prices, best places. Guaranteed.
Only 5 days to kick off. It all begins with a special edition of Countdown. This Thursday at 7 p.m. on ESPN. This Countdown to Kickoff is brought to you by Office Depot. Low prices every day.
NFL news, Jerome McDougal, the Eagles' top pick, will miss the team's first 2 games because of a litany of injuries to ankle, hip, and knee. The team has a bye week 3. The Skins just said bye to Danny Warfel. Apparently, owner Daniel Snyder's time-breaking vote led to Spurrier's former Florida quarterback being cut. The Raiders told Barrett Robbins that they want to keep him on their roster. Both sides still need to iron out a deal, but Robbins will likely play.
One of the most unusual occurrences you're ever going to see in golf. 15th hole, Marilyn Lavander's caddy, Nate Dietzler, is in the water trying to find the ball. Now, what happened is Lavander marked the ball on the green, and she flipped it over to her caddy, and Nate's hands apparently aren't good, so Nate's in there trying to fish out the ball. He found a bunch of balls, but none of them were Marilyn's. Now, we're on it. We got a time limit here. You got to find it within a certain amount of time. You're going to get a 2-stroke penalty. Nate's like, man, I'm going to get fired for sure. Wait! I got the ball! I've got the ball! So he gets it to Lavander. The 2-stroke penalty is avoided. Then Big Nate, come on, big boy. Got a catfish in his bib there. Stumbles getting out of the water. He's like, this ain't my day. Lavander makes the birdie. Okay, then this time she's going to toss it back to Nate.
All-time leader in passing yards and total offense as he blows up. Agim Shabai there for the touchdown. 7-0 Michigan State. Second quarter at 17-14 at the Western 20. The crossing route, same tandem, hooks up again. 23-14. At that point, MSU goes on to win 26-21, and afterwards, Smoker just doing it all.
UConn might have the best college team in the land come fall, but hey, don't sleep on the football team, Rentschler Field. You don't just walk into Rentschler Field, Reese Davis. No, you don't, especially not when Terry Cawley is going to break, let's count them, 7 tackles on this 38-yard run as they were just slicing up Indiana. UConn will get a TD on the next play midway through the 4th. There's that man again. Cawley goes for 43 yards. He had over 150. UConn had over 500 yards in the day, and he gets it to the paint. I'm telling you, UConn's dangerous. They roll over the Big Ten club. Eli Manning and the Rebs of Ole Miss got all they wanted from Vandy, a Heisman Trophy candidate perhaps. You can't go losing to Vanderbilt. They haven't won an SEC game in the last 17. Manning to Mike Espy with his own Espy Award nominee, tying the game at 21. Folks from Oxford saying we got to get a win. Jonathan Nichols earlier had a 51-yarder. This is from 54, under 4 minutes on the clock. Don't sweat the technique. That's perfect. Manning 22 of 33 rather. Most importantly, they get the win.
How about a little history? Katie Nida becomes the first woman to score in a Division 1A game. She kicked a pair of extra points. New Mexico beats Texas State San Marcos 72-8, but congratulations to Katie. Hey, lots of impressive performances on the first full Saturday of college football.
We were waiting for all the games to develop. There were a lot of great intersectional matchups, and really none of them held up to it until late with Colorado State and Colorado. Speaking of late, here we are. Hey, the top 10, let's count them down. The afternoon's best performances. Enjoy them with us, please. Number 10, Florida State, North Carolina, Greg Jones, and this is absolutely sinister. Dexter Reed, man, I hope none of your boys have TiVo. Oh, goodness gracious. One more time, Greg Jones got pipes like a bodybuilder, knocks him out. Florida State wins the game 37-long.
Number 9, Southern taking on Mississippi Valley State, Ezra Landry.
Do your thing, Ezra.
83 yards.
Look at Ezra.
Kickoff return. I mean, moving, grooving, doing his thing. Ezra gone. Southern won the game 29-0. How about Southern making a Sports Center?
My man's like Bushwick Bill there, isn't he? 4'0". Number 8, Arkansas State, Texas A&M. Terrence Thomas, the big hit on Jonathan Burke. Stephen Tukes there to clean up the mess. Little hop, little spin move, hits the B button. That's old school. B button's old school. A&M wins this one 26-11.
Number 7, North Texas at Oklahoma. Jamel Brandt's going back for the punt. He gets hammered by Derek Strait. Watch it again. Love hurts. Where's the fair catch?
Wisconsin, West Virginia. Rasheed Marshall. You've seen it before. One more time. Alex Lewis has got about a 10-yard run. It's legal. Oof. Wisconsin comes back from 10 down to win.
Number 5 from the great Colorado State game, and watch DJ Hackett get his world rock. Pops his helmet off. Looks like a video game, but it's not.
Number 4, Fresno State, Tennessee, Dustin Colquitt. Oh, goodness. You got to have your eyes, you got to have your head on the swivel. Wow, Vols winning.
Half on their first possession, and Orlovsky gives to Terry Colley. Some room off the far side, still on his feet. Still on his feet. Still on his feet. Still on his feet. Down inside the 10-yard line.
Great run by Terry Colley with UConn.
USC Auburn, not a lot of highlights for the folks from Auburn, but Carlos Stansby's got one right there. One more time.
And number 1, Huey Whitaker of South Florida. Watch the play. That is top delicious. Watch it again. Great catch, great concentration. Of course, Alabama put it on Central Florida.
Pontiac High Performance Plays. Ultimate Highlight. Brought to you by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade, is it in you?
Can you will the magic? Can you believe?
Serving up heat rocks on a hot plate like that. We on a festive day, make it go 8 film, make it heart rate. We gon' stay out late, party till the morning and wake up late. We do it till the day break, go on and then on and on. And dance to my rhyme, I can holler, acapellas, deaf till you're blind.